Welcome to Restoration Mastery TV. Today, we're giving you something to chewy on.
Boom!
And we're back. So Chewy's in the foreground with me. A lot of you female listeners have been writing in saying I look a lot like Harrison Ford and Han Solo in Star Wars. And I just wanted to say I appreciated it and wanted to bring Chewy front and center with me to really bring that comparison home.
Chewy's been asking, like, hey, OP, please, man, can you get me in? And here he is, finally.
Yeah,
so, guys, today we're going to be talking about the importance of cold calling and what that actually looks like. And, you know, specifically when you're going after a new division or a new segment in the business, if you're already dealing with agents, you know, you want to have some sort of a script as what you're going to be talking to them about when you're reaching out to them for the very first time. But today let's talk about the other segments of opportunities that are out there to market to.
We're big believers that whether it's sales, operations, emergency services, or customer service, that it's very important that you have some kind of system in place for conducting any effort that is really worth your time. Unfortunately, as salespeople, we tend to feel like our business is such an art that we shouldn't have things like scripts or techniques, and we should just kind of go in and wing it. You know, we saw Glenn Ross one time, and we thought that, you know, we want to prove ourselves.
That's it.
Yeah, we're going to be closers, and I don't need no script. You know, I know my shit, and I'm going to get in there and do my thing, right? So at the end of the day, we know that you have to have a system for conducting these calls. And so we are big fans of having some kind of telephone script to go off of.
Yeah. And guys, having been in the industry for 22 years, I started off at Service Master, and I stumbled onto taking care of my clients and taking care of my customers. And after about a year and a half, I thought, okay, what is it that I'm doing? Because I need to write it down. There were some times I would go out and I'd make a phone call and it was great. Other times I'd fall flat on my face. And it wasn't until I began to write things down and reverse engineer the process to say, hey, some of these things that I'm doing is working. And so you have to pay attention to what it is that you're doing that works and document that. Document what works so that way you can continue to do that even better and you could avoid the mistakes in doing the things that do not work. And so what we've been able to do is put together a few scripts already where we actually reverse engineered the process and said, hey, this actually works. We get some pretty good feedback. And as long as we stay within, you know, this framework, we're going to be okay. And we're not talking about like reading line by line. We're not talking about that. You know, we're talking about having a framework that actually works, that as you, the individual, begins to talk with the client, you begin to get the flow of what the process is like.
At the very least, they provide you with some talking points so you make sure you cover all of the essential things in the sales call. And so today we wanted to show you some ideas around using these sales scripts and talking to non-traditional marketing sources. Now, why do we even talk about that? Well, there is a current trend in the national market with the insurance carriers where they are starting to transition their preferred programs towards strictly nationwide companies and franchises. Now, that's great if you are one of them, but if you're not one of those organizations, what are you going to do when the carrier programs are gone the way of the dodo and you have no opportunity to get business from the programs that you've been relying on? And so for those of you that are relying heavily on carrier programs, this episode's going to be about diversifying for you through going after some non-traditional sources.
And for those of you that are heavy in programs, be careful. Be careful. Mm-hmm. I've seen, you know, too many of my colleagues get injured. Some of them go out of business because they avoided marketing. They avoided the non-traditional sources of getting work. And, you know, the term, we get fat and heavy and full with the work that we're getting from this one or two sources, that when they shift it's too late. You can't recover fast enough. And so we want to caution you there. Number two, for the people that are getting in that are new, that you don't have a chance to get into a vendor program, this is for you. There is plenty of work out in this industry. It's a matter of figuring out where it is and how to get to it.
Yeah, so one of the big opportunities that we hear a lot about as far as non-traditional sources are plumbers. And if you, no matter where you live in America, there's a good chance that there are 50 plumbers within 50 miles of your front door, if not more. Here in California, I think there might be 50 in this room. Like, it is just, everyone is a plumber out here. And so you have a huge opportunity to generate some business from these types of folks. But it's very important that you have a system for going through that and talking to them. What is your value? And you're going to want to step back and say to yourself, now, when I call this plumber, what do they want to know from me? That's how you would develop your script. What are they going to want to know about a restoration company? What's going to be important to them, and how do I find out?
Yeah. You know, same thing with hotels, same thing with convalescent hospitals, same thing with high-rises that we're in now, right? These property management companies have a need, and you can fill it. These guys are not on vendor programs. It ain't happening, right? Someone's having to go to them. Why not you?
Absolutely. And commercial buildings like high-rises, nursing homes, hotels, these types of places have, due to the economic crisis, raised their deductibles in some cases to $25,000 or $50,000, which means that they're not even reporting a claim.
Sometimes a percentage.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And so it's not going to be worth them filing a claim at all.
Absolutely. And so you have a great opportunity because they're not calling a carrier that's going to say call the local green or yellow van. They're just calling they're calling their contractors. They're looking at their vendor lists. And so that's going to require some proactive marketing on your part.
And so we would say to you guys, if you're interested in some free scripts, we've got them. Opt in below. Opt in, get your free scripts, and then you're off to the races, man. Then you can have your framework and know what to say, how to say it, so you can get in the door into these new areas.
And we've picked out 3 of our favorite types of businesses to target. So when you register for these scripts, we're going to send them out. We love your feedback. Let us know how they work out for you. And if we do not send you the script that you were looking for in these magic 3, respond back to the email. Let me know what you're looking for, and I'll shoot it over if I've got it.
Boom.
See you at the top.